Welcome to the All Things TileList tutorial provided by MasterFlash.net. Best way to view this video is by going 720 full screen. Once you do that, the video will start to clean up, and I hope you enjoy it. TileList component. Alright, got a lot of good stuff to show you in this one. We're basically going to rebuild the TileList from the ground up and work our way down to the basics. And the reason why we're going to do it backwards this time is because ultimately we're going to use the same action script that we would for rebuilding the component as we would for basically creating a basic tile list. Alright, and I'll show you the differences. First, if you take a look inside of the files that you downloaded for this tutorial, you'll see that I've included some images in there for you to work with. Alright, got some aquarium pictures. And of course you'll find some ActionScript files in here that will only be used for rebuilding the tile list. Alright, so obviously I'll explain how we're going to use the document class a little bit later on, but you do have these in here to mess around with if you want. You'll find a couple of them, and of course you'll find the FLAs. This will be my original file that I'm working on, and we'll have progress files, part 1 start, part 1 finished, part 2 start, part 2 finish, and so on. So as we go throughout these tutorials, you know, if you want to work inside of this folder, I've gone ahead and set these folders up for you. Alright, so first thing that we need to do is take a look on stage. You'll see that we've got BG skin linkage, up skin linkage, over skin, down skin. What we're going to end up doing is rebuilding the cells or replacing the cells with our own movie clips and things like that. So first thing that we need to do is draw some stuff on stage. So go ahead and grab your rectangle tool, and I'm just going to make a fill color of black. I'm just going to draw a little square. It doesn't really matter what size. Alright, I'm going to take this, I'm just going to copy this and paste it a few more times. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the colors of these for each separate state. Alright, now I don't want to say anything confusing here to confuse you. Alright, just don't look into it too much. Obviously the BG skin is for the background, alright, which would be ultimately the background of the tile list. Now the up skin is basically the same thing as the BG skin, alright, but we're going to include this because I'm going to show you how to do image padding and tile padding as well. Alright, that way the up skin color will allow somewhat of a stroke for the background. Alright. And the overskin, of course, is basically when they roll their mouse over the tile list or any one of the cells, so it'll change colors. And the downskin is when they select on it. Alright, so we need to go ahead and turn these into some colors that are a little bit different. So for the upskin, actually I'm going to make the upskin white. We'll make the overskin yellow and the downskin red. Okay, so what we need to do is turn these into movie clips and set them up to export for ActionScript. So once we grab this one right here, let's go ahead and turn this into a movie clip. Go ahead and hit F8. And I'm going to call this BG skin underscore linkage. Once you have that set up, make sure it's a movie clip. Then come down here underneath of your advanced options and select export for ActionScript. And we can leave this stuff alone. Should say BG skin underscore linkage in the class. And for the base class, really what we're doing, we can get away with anything here. So just go ahead and hit OK. And if you get an ActionScript class warning, don't worry about it. Just hit OK. What we're going to end up doing is importing some ActionScript files through ActionScript as opposed to using panels. Alright, so since we exported for ActionScript, what you need to make sure that you have set up is underneath of the linkage. You should see something that says BG skin underscore linkage. This basically allows us to pull movie clips from the library through ActionScript and apply them to either the stage or, you know, any kind of components or anything that you're working with. So we need to set that up for all of these. So go ahead and grab the upskin, convert it to a symbol, upskin underscore linkage. Make sure it's a movie clip. Export for ActionScript. Okay, okay, all right. Overskin, convert to symbol, overskin underscore linkage. Export for ActionScript. Downskin, F8, downskin underscore linkage, export for ActionScript. Alright, just to make sure that you've got all of your movie clips set up for linkage, let's go ahead and check it out, make sure everything looks good. All right, so our next step is to put a tile list inside of our library as well. So go ahead and get your components out. If you don't know how to find your components, come up to your window menu, come down here, select components. All right, so if we come down here, grab the tile list, just click and drag it out on the stage somewhere. The only thing that we need to make sure it does is set it up in our library. All right, we don't have to export this for linkage because it automatically does it itself, basically for the controls. And we'll actually import the TileList controls through Actionscript. All right, one quick thing. I don't want to cover too much on this because what I'm going to show you how I'm going to show you how to do this is by naming everything through Actionscript. Excuse me. If you come up here and look at your window menu, grab your component inspector. It's basically the same thing as parameters. All right. All right. So taking a look in here, what you'll see is the column count, column width, direction, let's see, row count, height, scroll policy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you most of these through Actionscript. A lot of these really aren't that important. So I'll go ahead and I just wanted to make sure that you can change these through here. But the way we're going to do it through Actionscript is Actionscript will take over all. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of here. All right, so once we have this on stage, go ahead and delete it. Our next step is to start writing some actions so we can go ahead and test out our tile list. All right, so just come up in here to your actions. If you don't know how to get your actions out, go ahead and hit F9. All right, to start this off, what we need to do is import the fl.controls.tilelist, semicolon, and then the next thing we need to import is the direction, so import.controls.scrollbar direction, semicolon. Okay, and of course what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to set this up through Actionscript as well as putting it on stage, so you'll have an easier time dragging it around on stage instead of hunting down the perfect X and Y axis. All right, but for starters I'm going to show you this just so you know it. And what we need to do is we need to create a new tile list, which will basically be a variable name that will act as the instance name for the tile list. So what we need to say is var TileList underscore comp for our variable name, colon TileList equals new tile list, opening closing parentheses, semicolon. All right, so of course what this basically means is this is the instance name for us to refer to. All right, for anything that we're going to do, like adding items, column widths, tile list height, all that good stuff. So what we need to start first is to add items to the tile list. So what we can say is TileList comp.add item, opening parentheses, opening bracket. And for starters, I'm going to show you how to put this in here by adding text. Okay, and then later on in the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to remove the text, and then of course, as we work our way down to basically the basics of the tile list, then you'll learn how to remove the text from the tile list component. So if you're getting antsy, we will get to it eventually. Label component, opening quotation marks, image 1, closing quotation marks, comma, source, colon, opening quotation marks, images / image underscore 1.jpg, closing quotation marks, comma, my ID, colon, 1, closing bracket, closing parentheses, semicolon. All right, so what we're doing right here is we're basically taking our instance name for our tile list and we're going to add the items that we want in the tile list. And for starters, we're going to throw some text in there. So any type of text that you want to show up in your tile list would go right here in between the quotation marks. And the source, what we're doing here is we're setting this up to load in the images that we have locally. All right, of course, what we're saying is images / image underscore 1, meaning that the images are sitting inside of the images folder. All right, so of course, this is where you would put, right, your full file path. So that's basically what that is. And I'll get to explaining what this is in a second. I just want to set this up so probably be a little bit easier to understand. I just go ahead and paste a few of those, and we need to change a couple things. I'm going to make this 2, 3. Alright, so again, I want different images loading in here, so I'm going to put 2, 3, 4, and so on. Alright, now, my ID :1. Basically, what we're doing is we're setting up, a different item for every single tile or every single cell that gets rendered when you publish out an SWF. My idea is, when I was doing some testing, I wanted to find a cool way to show you how to either make it work with an external link somewhere on stage, or just show you a way that you can basically create a function for each specific cell. All right, and by setting an ID like this, what we're going to do is we're going to define what this is inside of an event listener, and we're going to actually refer to each tile by the ID number. All right, so we're going to set this up at 2, 3, 4, 5, and obviously you'll see what we're going to be doing with this in a little bit. All right, so once we get that done, what we can do is basically set up the parameters of the tile list. Alright, you can view the rest of the All Things TileList tutorial on masterflash.net, where you can find source files and all sorts of other good stuff.